Hey folks, today we're going to be talking about sprites, about the inclusion of them in next season, and what I really think needs to change. Because there are definitely some big issues right now that can be very easily fixed, in my opinion. Well, I'm gonna get the big deal out of the way first. They're probably gonna stay for a long-ass time, you know? Personally, I think this is fine. Obviously, right now, if it's remaining unchanged, then I think it's gonna really quickly become the definition of complete dog shit as time goes on. You know, I personally think at the beginning of the season of Runners, I personally think what they did was okay. It was fun. It was fun for the first week. And then they brought out 15 fucking variants. Obviously, it's like 7. I don't remember. After like the 15th fucking variant, I got a bit, tiring to collect them all over again. What I do appreciate is that they lowered the amount per variant. Still, I have some issues, though. Hold on, wait, guys. Check out this transition I'm about to do. I personally believe that sprites are a good system, but incredibly flawed right now. The whole season felt like there was no content because the fat fucking chuds we call sprites were picking it all up, just like soaking it all up. Didn't we only get like 3 items? What was it? The bank shot, the shock rock, and oh fuck, can't put my finger on it. And whatever, I'll probably edit it in post. But anyways, I was mainly fine with looking for new sprites that came out because the brand new effects and stuff. But you know what really irked me? The variants. The thing is, with getting newer sprites, you have something to mess around with. Test to see if it's useful, change things up every now and then. Level them up, master them. But the issue is variants. The whole issue I have with it is variants. It's the exact same fucking sprite as before, no different effects, no nothing, but it just has a different color scheme and a minuscule effect on it that's probably gonna be negligible. For example, let's say the gold sprite. I don't get me wrong, I think that the XP from eliminations is fine, but let's say you're over level 200. What kind of fucking effect is that? It gives you nothing. So therefore, there's no point to master those sprites from, level 200 onward, unless I'm, interpreting it wrong, because it may be sprite XP. Oh, whatever. I do think that's just kind of stupid. Then there's the gummy ones. Those are good. I don't mind them. Hollow foil's fine. But then we get to stuff like the cube sprites. Why? When are you ever going to be in the storm long enough to properly make a use of the overdrive effect? I mean, I can see some very situational things, but in the storm? I don't know, man. Not to mention the gem one's 30% less fall damage. Hello? Anyone home? Anyone home in the Epic Games department? Oh yeah, 1,000 employees. Never mind. Don't get me wrong. Pulling something like a Galaxy 0 point sprite is probably the feeling of crack being injected directly into your veins. But let's be real. The chances of that are 1 in 250 million? Let's be real, guys. Nobody's gonna fucking get that without trading. Are we serious? 1 in 250 million? This is fucking inexcusable, and that is why I fucking hate variants so much. I mean, unless you are the reincarnation of Game Boy Jones and hitting the jackpot every, 25 seconds, you aren't getting every single sprite. Be real with yourself. I don't mean to sound like such a Debbie Downer there, but you know what I mean. This also goes on with the stuff like the Guardian and the Sprite Mastery Pod, and not to mention the new Sprite Garden they're adding. It makes going after these sprites like a huge deal, knowing that they're not temporary now. I ran out of budget. I can't do any cool transitions anymore. Back to the default one. Do I want them to get rid of variants entirely? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, actually. I really think that would help the game. But let's assume they didn't, because let's be honest, it's Epic Games. They're gonna keep it. I think there's a very easy way to make it less painstakingly dog shit to grind out, and that would be to raise the rates for getting one inside of a chest. I do not know how many times I pulled a basic fucking water sprite from a sprite chest, or like a king sprite or a duck sprite, or the same fucking gummy fire every single goddamn game. Genuinely, I cannot go a single power hour without seeing that fat fucking chunk. Not to mention, they should stop giving so many variants to the extremely rare ones, especially if they're gonna add another 13 million variants. Especially to the fucking mythics and stuff. Oh my god. The base 0 point spread is already damn hard to, get in the current season. And then they introduced the variants for him, and then just got worse. Why? Just why would you do that? You suck. I'm talking to Epic, by the way. And if anything, they can make a whole new variant for the rarest sprite in the season, and then call it a day. Just leave it one special variant that enhances the effect. I think that'd be cool. They have some very limited ones, like the Quack sprites. There's only 4 of those, so it isn't completely out of question, But, genuinely, I just really fucking hate variants and hope they go. But, you can't hold out hope for that too much. Okay, pissed off rant aside, I think the sprites last season felt like genuine fucking nothing burgers, except for a select few. Looking at you, Boss and Iron Mouse, just saying, you should be, it's crazy to get 300 health and 0 build. Also going invisible and getting a free heal. From what I've seen from the Override trailer, they don't seem like useless dog shit anymore. For example, the kill switch sprite, which apparently gives you the hang time effect from the pistols. What are we smoking here? And then, not to mention tails, because what the fuck do you mean you can fly now? I mean, and the thing is, I wanna, glaze Sonic, because, that's, half of my entire personality. But I don't know what it does. But I bet it's gonna be just as broken as the other ones. And overall, from what I've seen, I feel like the issue of the Nothing Burger sprites has been kinda resolved a little bit. I just really hope they keep up the pace throughout the season, because what the fuck were they thinking with the Peaky Peely sprite? I could go on a whole fucking rant right now about Peaky Peely, however, I will not, just to, prevent the video from dragging on to 3 hours long. And one last thing I would like to mention, I feel like if a sprite is lost within a match, you should be able to, resummon it at the same level it was lost at. Now, that may sound like a huge crutch, but hear me out here. Hear me out. Let's say you have a level 4 sprite and you die. You return to the lobby and you should, be able to resummon it at level 1 for a cheaper price, which would be the default price. Or you can pull it back at level 4 to get, the level 4, but it's at a higher price, 4 times the normal. Another way they can make the pain of losing a high-level sprite less, dog shit and unbearable is that if you lose a sprite at level 5, you can go in at level 5. However, when you level it up to level 5, you still have to extract it to fully master it. You know what I mean? Anyways, with these changes, I believe the sprite system could be much better than it is right now. Because I'll be honest, it's looking a bit grim if it's gonna go, the same way. Wait, no, not the Grim Sprite. Not like the Grim Sprite. No, I hate that sprite. I swear to fucking God.